Every situation contains two poles. In order for a situation to exist, it has to have two poles. Does that make sense? Okay. Every one of us is pulled toward one of the poles, somewhere along the continuum. Every one of us has a seat at the table of that particular issue. At first, we think that we have the correct seat and the correct view, and that we're right and the people on the other side of the seesaw are wrong. There comes a time when we realize that that's the way the dualistic world is set up, the world of opposites, and that way of thinking always causes war. Somebody has to be on the right pole and the other person must be on the wrong pole. And strangely enough, we all think we're on the right pole. And we're willing to fight to the death for many of them. So what I learned to do and what I teach my students is that when I am pulled to a pole, like I believe Israel has the right to exist, I have no belief that I'm right or wrong. It's simply what I think. So because I stand in that position, there has to be somebody standing in the position of Israel does not have the right to exist. And we each have our bag of evidence, and we're both right. Now, if I can convince the person over here to come over to my side, well, then there's nobody on that end of the pole. Well, then two people have to step up who think they're right. And if I convince them, then four people have to step up, and pretty soon we're shooting at each other. So instead, I immerse myself in the point of view of the other until I understand it as completely as I understand my own point of view. I have no more emotional charge. I see the issue now from a much bigger perspective, and I can understand many different points of view about the issue. I don't have an answer. I am, however, still pulled to stand where I stand. So I go and stand where I stand and love everybody else standing where they stand. And then I watch how the issue evolves. The more of us I find that immerse ourselves in the position of the other and then go back and stand where we're pulled to stand, and we can watch each other and share, the issue disappears very shortly. When everyone gives up their need to be correct or need to win and simply realize that we represent different points on a continuum, and we can proudly represent our point of view, knowing that there's somebody with the opposite point of view at the table who is equally as correct, right, and beautiful as we. And when we all sit around the table together and share our points of view, the issue evolves much more smoothly, with no violence at all. Every belief has a counter-belief. And when we live in the world of opposites, we're constantly trying to be right so that we can prove that we have the right to exist. When we live in the other world, the world of unity, we already know that we have a right to exist and right to our opinion. And instead of continually trying to prove that, we're supporting other people in helping them to remember that they have the right to exist and the right to their opinion that's equal to ours. One causes war and separation. The other causes joining and peace. The only choice we get is which world we want to live in. I've made my choice.